Hello, comic fans. Here's Earl Grey and one rather recent but quite regular member of our floating roundtable comic chat in German, Hannes Klesse. He's a cartoonist himself. He had sort of self-published Starchild, an 8-issue sci-fi story in comic books, and hardcovers in German, but kickstarts a new campaign in order to get the whole shebang translated into English and out into the whole world. So before we talk about the whole project, let's have a little look into Starchild. Very impressive stuff. Hello, Hannes.
Hello, Milan. Thanks.
What's the idea behind Starchild? How do you explain the main premise to someone like me who has not read the comic?
Yeah. First, it's I would say it's in the sci-fi, science fiction, fantasy genre. Somebody said to me after he read it, it is urban fantasy. I didn't know this this description before, and yeah, it's not a dystopian like the world will end soon or something. Yeah, but it's today's world a little bit further. Yeah, the problems of today a little bit further, and there are 3 main characters, and the story, yeah, turns around,
Evolves.
evolves over these 3 characters. Yeah, 2 of them are a couple, and one of them, Neyla, the female main character, has superpowers. Yeah, that's the fantasy part of the Starchild story. And her her love boyfriend. Oh, so I have to apologize for my English. It's yeah. We talked about it before. It's a German problem. Yeah, her boyfriend is Indigo. Yeah, he's an outsider, a natural guy. Yeah, the 2 lives in the nature, and there is a situation. Because of that, they have to go back to the city where they came from. And the city is global city, yeah, like the name is. It's big, like a continent, like a whole continent. And the 3rd main character is the president of this city. Yeah, and the rest would be a spoiler. It's action, a little bit action, a little bit. I like to play with the characters, involve them. Yeah, I like comics and films where the characters are come to life, yeah, because of their involving or their evolution. Yeah, and that was the goal for me, and I've tried to make them believable.
I have to admit, I don't I don't have not really a clue about the Image comics from the 90s, Todd McFarlane, Mark Silvestri, and the like. But
Yeah, I
those
have a
come
lot
to
of
my
them here.
mind when I look at these characters with their bulging muscles.
Yeah, you're not the first one said that to me. It's a big influence for me. I'm 43 years old and I've started reading Marvel comics or US comics as a whole in 1991. And yeah, therefore the 90 years drawing, painting style, drawing style, yeah, pencil style is a big influence for me, and color style as well. Yeah, I like computer coloration, and I like big muscles. Yeah, I like to draw big muscles. I like to draw bodies, and yeah.
Yeah,
I like to play with the shadows. Yeah, that's a big thing in the 90s also, I think. Dale Keane is a big influence, is a very big influence for me. Dale Keane, the Hulk penciler in the 90s, and Todd McFarlane, of course. Mark Silvestri, you said. And because of the 90s, because of the influence, I think when I started with US comics, and that's a part I like very much about US comics, it was the era of anti-heroes and and destruction of heroes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Does this have something to do with you're an art teacher, but you're teaching physiotherapy as well?
Yeah.
So is there some connection that you think you have figured out how the human body works and the muscles, and does it help?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. We met on Saturday on a convention, and there I talked a lot to young people. They asked me, how can I learn to draw, blah blah blah, and they often asked me about anatomy, and I said, anatomy is not a very difficult part for me, or it's the easier part as other things I have to draw. Because I think it's because I started to learn about fitness and bodybuilding when I was 14, 15 years old. And later I studied nutrition, and a part of that study is anatomy. And then later I worked in the fitness industry, and now today I teaching fitness trainer the anatomy of the human body, and I'm teaching physiology around training and stuff like that, and I'm very interesting a lot of years in professional bodybuilding. I sometimes I watch today bodybuilding contests, and that helped me a lot, because there are a lot of poses I have looked very, very often in my life on bodybuilders, and I see the contraction of the muscles before my inner eye. Now I'm drawing, and I always want to draw one of the characters have to be Hulk-like, very, very big. That's a thing I like to draw.
Yeah, as you described your main character as a superhero without a cape, or more political.
I'm a Superman without a cape, Superman. And I mean Superman, the cliché about Superman is always that he is perfect, maybe too perfect. And that's the idea behind Boaz. His optic is correct in English too. His optic is inspired by The Rock. Yeah.
His appearance.
And I think The Rock is the real life Superman, right? His aura, like, yeah, he's charismatic, maybe too charismatic sometimes. Yeah. He's in shape with 50 years old. He's funny. He is yeah, he's strong, of course, and maybe intelligent. And Boaz, one of the three main characters, should have all these characteristics, these abilities. Yeah, he is very, very good in everything, and that's yeah, that could be a problem when I have to write a series over 60 years, yeah, like for Superman. But it's a very, very important part of his character in this story, you know.
You published it first through through Kickstarter, and Next Art is your site. Next Art. How does this work? I mean, or how? Who are your colleagues who you work with?
And the Next Art is the publisher, but it's an independent publisher, and therefore every one of us who has a comic in the Next Art crowdfunded it for itself, or published it for printed it for himself. And therefore I'm started with crowdfunding for issue number one and issue number 2 in 2020, yeah, between the lockdown era and in Germany. And yeah, it was no problem to crowdfund it. Yeah, enough people know me mostly over Facebook at the time, Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, I started with a little goal, and then issue number 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and now I have a little but very loyal community who is interested in my comics, and I got good feedback, sometimes very good feedback for Starchild, and that makes me happy. And I have to have a lot of ideas for the future.
One idea is to publish it in English, and that's actually the reason why we talk here on the English channel, just to put it out there so that people can support your stuff and support you. If someone is interested in supporting your work and getting the stuff in English, what does he have to do? What can he or she expect to get for his or her money, etc.?
Yeah.
Can you work us through the whole stuff?
Like I said, I have in Germany, I have funded 7 crowdfundings, yeah. Mostly one issue per crowdfunding. And the whole saga, the whole story, Starchild story, is about is finished in 8 issues, like 200 pages, 8 chapters. And yeah, now I thought, hey, maybe there are some English readers I could show them my story. Yeah, I have a lot of Facebook friends in England, in America, and yeah, maybe some of them would like to. And now I try to crowdfund the whole story as a hardcover paperback. And you can, I have to say, you can get a digital version. That's the easiest way. And you can the print version, hardcover, like I said.
Okay, I will put all the necessary information down below into the caption or into the description of the video. Aside of this English translation of Starchild, do you have other comic projects or aspirations for the future, comic-wise?
Yeah, I have one little project finished in the last month. It's oh, wait a moment, please. Here. I have the test version here. The test version.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little story about the end of the universe, yeah. And it's a story, yeah, a lot of red, a lot of splash pages. It's a fun project, yeah, but it's maybe a little sad. The story is maybe a little sad, but for me it's a fun project. I wanted to draw it between other project I worked on the last month, and I have to work on the coming month. And the big project I'm working on is the the next saga. Yeah, the next saga in the Starchild universe. But yeah, first you have to read Starchild to understand. Well, not to understand. You don't have to read. Yeah, you don't have to read Starchild to understand the next saga. But yeah, it's always better to read everything, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that was enough for a good impression of your work and the comic. And thanks for your time. And good luck with your campaign. We close off with some further impressions of Starchild. Thanks for watching and listening. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.